right, peace and blessings, everybody. It's November the 3rd. We're coming up on Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays where everybody's going to spend time with their loved ones. They're going to spend time fellowshipping with their family and maybe eat a turkey dinner, open some presents. Who knows what they're going to do. But Schaefer Cox, right in the center here, he's going to spend his time in a cell away from his two children because everybody else conspired against him. Rather than him conspiring to kill people, there are people that conspired against him because he was a rising political star and they wanted to affect the free and fair elections. You've got Lavon Lamore down here, who was part of the prosecution, lied about Schaefer. I'm sure she's going to enjoy her Christmas and Thanksgiving holidays as she worked to put an innocent man in prison. You got the Jezebel from hell herself, Karen Loeffler, who oversaw the whole operation, and she knew exactly what she was doing as she put an innocent man in prison and separated him from his children. She's absolutely on a fast train to hell. You got the new face of the prosecution, Stephen Scrocky, who every time he opens his mouth, he lies about Schaefer. He can't tell the truth even if he wanted to. He hid exculpatory evidence. He asked for exculpatory evidence to be destroyed. I believe that's James Goki, who was part of the prosecution. You got Mary Beth Kepner. She was dressing in low-cut skirts and hanging out with Bill Allen over here in hotel rooms and leaking information to Bill Allen, who is having sex with, allegedly having sex with Bambi Tyree when she was underage, and at the Ocean View house, and Schaefer Cox was made aware of all of this, and he's tried to expose it. So Mary Beth Kepner, they blew the whistle on her, a guy by the name of Chad Joy, and the Chad Joy whistleblower report is the only reason that Senator Ted Stevens up here in the upper left is the only reason he got his conviction overturned. He was convicted by a jury, and the only reason that Judge Emmett Sullivan turned that over is because Chad Joy came out with a whistleblower report about the evil shenanigans of Mary Beth Kepner and this guy back here. Isn't that terrible? Bottini, Joseph Bottini. Man, he's so evil I have a hard time remembering his name. You got Joseph Bottini. Let me bring that to front. Joseph Bottini, this guy back here, he's on a fast train to hell. You got Nick Marsh, who killed himself. He got caught up in Brenda Morris. I think Brenda Morris graduated from Howard University. Isn't that like a Negro college? And I believe they had a speaker there that say the answer to black liberation is to kill all white people. So that's the college that she's from. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken. But Brenda Morris participated in the false conviction of United States Senator Ted Stevens, where he mysteriously dies in a plane crash. You got Loretta Lynch. She knows all about all this evil stuff. You got Eric Holder. I need Charles Samuels Jr., the director of Bureau of Prisons. Hank Schulke, who he'll get up and do something if it's for a senator. If it's for one of the longest running senators in America, he'll get up and testify how bad the prosecution is. But if it's just for the son of a Baptist minister, Schaefer Cox, he don't have time for him. Judge Emmett Sullivan, he'll slap the wrist of all these prosecutors when they attack a senator, but he won't raise a finger to lift Schaefer Cox. You got Judge Robert Bryan, who's probably senile, and he oversaw the trial of Schaefer Cox. And you got the snitch down here, who's a FBI informant who wants to tell everybody that he's not an FBI informant, even though we have records of him calling the FBI and reporting to them. You got Suzanne Lee Elliott, who's a gun grabber, a nationwide attorney for taking guns out of the hands of Americans. She wanted Schaefer to plead insanity. She didn't understand the importance of the Second Amendment. Sarah Palin, all this happened on her watch, and she hasn't said a thing. Just one or two statements of support for Schaefer Cox could free him, but she refuses to do it. Very disappointed in her. You got Bill Allen up here, who's an alleged pedophile having sex with Bambi Tyree at the Ocean View house. You got Bill Allen's son down here, who I think it's called Mind That Bird. If I'm not mistaken, he had a horse that won at Kentucky Derby. All of these people have conspired to put Schaefer Cox in prison, and they have profited to some degree, at either advanced their own careers or, you know, thinking that they have done something for society, when in actuality we have put an innocent man in prison. This is the man I want to focus on right here. This guy's name is Bill Fulton. He is the leader of the gay turd pack, absolutely on a fast train to hell and a reprobate, you know, just a huge, huge reprobate. He thinks he saved Gotham City, and he had some lady help him write a book, a fancy author from New York City, write a book about how he is so brave that he met with another FBI agent. The only people in the room are FBI agents. They don't even know each other, FBI agents. They exchange weapons, and he brags about how dangerous the situation is in his mind, when in actuality everybody in the room is working for the FBI, and they blame the whole thing on Schaefer. Schaefer didn't have anything to do with the weapons exchange, but that's how the deal went down. So this guy, I call him the gay turd. He didn't get paid as much as this guy down here, the $300,000 whore, Gerald J.R. Olson, so he has to write a book in order to profit off of turning in Schaefer. Whereas Gerald J.R. Olson, who is a Hell's Angel drug runner wannabe prospect, made several $100,000 off his role. But this guy, he writes a book because he's Johnny come lately, and he got shafted by the FBI, so he still hasn't figured out how to make money off of Schaefer Cox being in prison, so he has to get somebody to write a book for him. But anyway, let's go to this. This is really what I want to focus on. This is the administrator of FreeSchaefer.com run a report, and it tells about, you know, what's called faulty logins, or logins that are not successful. And so as you look at this list, the 10th one down, it says Fulton. Now, what do you think the odds are that, you know, you can have any name in the United States, right? Any name. I mean, just think of the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of names in the United States that could potentially show up on this list. People that try to log into the Free Schaefer Cox website, or the Free Schaefer website. And of all the names in the United States of America that could show up on her list of people that are trying to log into the website but fail because they don't know the password, but they try it anyway, what do you think the odds are that the name Fulton shows up in the list? You think that's kind of unusual? I think it's a bit unusual. Let's zoom in so you can see it better. Okay, I had a little problem getting it zoomed there, but I worked it out. But you guys see that? Just curious, what do you think about all the names that could show up in the United States and somebody named Fulton tried to log into the Free Schaefer website? I'll tell you what, Schaefer's going to get out of prison, and the Lord God Almighty is going to get the glory, and gay turd Bill Fulton and all of these other reprobates that have worked hard to either turn a blind eye to Schaefer Cox going to prison as an innocent man, justice is coming. Justice will come. The Lord God Almighty will not be mocked forever, and he will not turn his back on his children forever. And Schaefer Cox is a child of a mighty living God, and all of these evil bastards that have either turned their backs on Schaefer or worked to put him in prison, they will get what's coming to them. There is no doubt about it.